It's Monday, the 6th of November. I'm Ben Reeve, and this is The Hoop Show. Joining me tonight is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Paul James. Paul, good morning, not good evening. It's a Monday.
Yeah,
How
we're
are you
cashing
doing?
in on pre-Melbourne Cup Eve and smashing it out. So it's good.
We are.
Day off. Normally, this is the first time in my entire career. Normally, today would be the day that my Year 12s are doing my specific exam. And so I'd never get this day off that all of my colleagues would get. But today, this year, 2023, for some reason, the VCAA is doing things differently and I can get on the beers. So that's the
sun is shining and sun is shining and we're in a recording studio. That's great, but no, it's early doors, so we've got plenty of time to enjoy the weather. And I think the thunderclouds are coming at some stage, so we need to get ready for that. But we'll go through the quick rundown. So we're here today. We'll review the round 10 Cats win against the Hawks, Soap Dodgers. We'll discuss the elimination final matchup with Essendon, which I believe is next Sunday afternoon. And we'll cover off on 105, and we'll cover off on all the big AFL news of the week. So, Paul, take us through the result from the weekend.
Yeah, look, we smacked the Hawks. So I think you tipped 50 points going into the round, and had it not been for a couple very last-minute goals from the Hawks, we'd basically be there. So 9-6-60 to 3-2-20. We smacked the Hawks by 40 points. As far as AFLW results are concerned, that is a hiding. I mean, it's a hiding even in the men's system as well, but it's a fairly large margin and something I can absolutely get around when it comes to the Hawks. 3 to Chloe Shear, smashing it as always. 1 to Spud and 1 to Webster.
Hang on. She's the Sermonator, isn't she? Isn't that what we're going? No,
you can try.
She likes the Spud. I try.
And on the disposal count, I mean, it's basically, we're used to this at this point. 35 to Georgie Press-Parkers, 34 to Nina Morrison, 24 to Webster. And look, there was a string of others with high disposal counts as well. Amy Mack with 23. It just keeps kind of going on and on and on. So fantastic win to the Cats. For the Hawks, 2 to Stratton, 1 to Fellows. Also, Stratton, related to Ben at all, that used to play in the men's
Possibly.
team? I don't know.
Possibly.
One for anyone watching who actually cares about anything that goes on at the Hawks to let us know. Bates with 27, 23 to Lucas Rod, and 20 to Fleming.
And again, bonus points, Paul, if you know any of the first names of the Hawks players. I know one of them. Emily Bates is the one I was going to say. I don't really know too many other ones. And do we even need to? I put a tweet out like, do we even need to run the poll for the Roll of Honour this week? And I don't think we did. Clearly, it was always going to be Georgie Press-Parkers, but there was a late charge, wasn't there? Nina Morrison came hard in the end.
Yeah, Nemo pushed pretty hard there at the end with, I mean, again, 34 disposal herself. She kicked a goal. Georgie didn't. The clearances about the same. I'm double checking the stats now to make sure I get everything. Like, she had more tackles, just one fewer clearances. A lot of stats in her favor. I totally understand how and why someone might decide that Nina Morrison was the best field, but the fans have decided. I think we were pretty confident as well that Georgie, for the 6th time for the year now.
I think it was 6, and there's 1 or 2 games, well, maybe even finals. 4 games to go. Maybe we'll see. She might have a few more.
Hopefully we can go all the way. I mean, obviously we'll talk about the finals shortly, but great win this week. We've won 3 out of our last 4 going into finals, so the momentum's there. We have been kind of beating bottom half of the ladder teams, so we'll just kind of have to see how things play out from there. But Claudia Gunjaka got through unscathed after having a little bit of a scare during the game, so health-wise. So hopefully all is well going into round 1 of the finals, the elimination final this week against the Bombers.
I think
we get a Press-Parkers battle in the first round of the finals, which is pretty exciting. Maddie v. Georgie.
Gunjaka had a bit of a shiner when she came off, but hopefully she's okay. There wasn't any talk about a concussion or anything. I'm not sure what Essendon's list looks like in terms of going to that elimination final. We'll get to that in a second, though. But it is the second year in a row, Paul, that we are in the finals. And if you cast your mind back, last year it was against North, and we lost by a point, so that was a bit of a heartbreaker. So hopefully we've learnt some lessons there. North were a pretty good team, and they are again this year. But we come up against Essendon, I'm pretty filthy that we lost to them up at Warrnambool earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And I always knew if we had another chance at the Bombers, we'd get them. So I'm very, very happy to be playing them on the weekend at home.
At GMHBA, yeah.
At GMHBA. So, yes, I think we'll easily get the job done there by 20-plus points. I've gone early with my predictions there.
Jeez,
I'm very, very
really
confident. That's what I'm talking about. I'm extremely confident about this one, Paul. So I think we're going to get there. And I don't know if you've done the ladder predictor, but I reckon we're going to come up against North Melbourne the following week, which will be opportunity for some payback and then give the girls a chance to make. Yeah,
because I had messed around with it, but of course that was a lot of that was combinations and permutations going into the end of the round, let alone now the reality of what we're actually dealing with. So, yeah, let me quickly bring that up.
And we possibly could have been playing Sydney this week, if not for a late goal, I think, to Fremantle.
Yeah, true.
On the weekend, the percentage, I think they just.
Yeah, I've got us playing against North, so. We'll see how we go.
I had us playing against in the first elimination final. I had us playing Brisbane, but somehow they got a win on the weekend against Melbourne. And then you had Collingwood. You had us playing Collingwood, didn't they? Choke it all up, which is great to see.
Yeah,
they've had enough success this year, so stuff them. But look, we talked about Pressparkers. We talked about Nina Morrison. It was an absolute masterclass from them. They had 69, very nice, 69 possessions between the two of them. It was absolutely dominance. And poor old Amy McDonald, who's been an absolute gun player for the last 3 or 4 years, she's just sort of forgotten about these days, but she still racks up her 24, 25 touches. But it's great to see that sort of the next tier below Amy McDonald really step up this year. Maybe that's what we need. I reckon we just need one more absolute gun in order to challenge for that sort of top 4 or premiership. But we're getting closer, it feels, anyway. In saying that, if we lose on Sunday afternoon, it's not going to feel like we're getting closer.
Yeah, to kind of go out in the first round a bit like last year would be disappointing. So we'll have to wait and see. Again, as I said before, there's a bit of theatre to go behind this to have both Pressparkers girls going head to head.
Oh yeah,
in the finals, which will be awesome to see. Maddie and Georgie, and look for myself that like they both hail from my neck of the woods. My particular workplace has a little bit of a bias for Maddie as a former student of ours. Actually, Georgie never came our way, but obviously my bias swings Georgie's way thanks to her Geelong allegiance.
And she's the better sister, clearly.
Yeah, she's obviously the better sister, but Maddie's got the best and fairest, the Brownlow equivalent in her back pocket already. So she's an established gun.
Are we calling it the Aaron Phillips medal yet?
Can
we do that now?
Maybe starting next year, I reckon. I don't think they'll call it in her final season, but we'll see how we go. Well deserved if that ends up going her way, though. So yeah, there's that bit of theatre, that backdrop to the whole thing as well, which would be fascinating. Georgie seems to be getting better and better with every game. Maddie's obviously an established gun, and as you said, we just need everyone else around around Georgie to just do their thing. Nina's crushing it. Amy's crushing it. We get the likes of Becky Webbs to pop up over the course of the weekend. If Chloe Shear can kind of get off the leash a little bit as she's prone to do, then things are going to be really positioned well for us.
It'll be interesting how Chloe Shear goes. She can be a little bit of a flat track bully against the lesser teams. And when she comes up against a very, very solid defence, doesn't really dominate as much on the scoreboard. Killed it on the weekend. 3 second-half goals. Was just having a laugh, really, in the end. Just doing what she wanted. It was nice to see Spud or the Serminator get a goal there as well. She did have a moment where she was a little bit hungry and probably should have passed it off to our other friend of the show, Kate Darby, who's streaming into the goal square, but it is what it is. It's a windy old day, but maybe
you pay a social price once you get back in the rooms afterwards. But
I think she owes Darbs a beer, maybe. But no, good to see her get on the board there. She absolutely goes all day long. Does Spud? She never gives. Doesn't always hit the targets. But tell you what, she has a crack. Absolutely has a crack. I'll give her that. So yeah, Chloe Shear, 3 second-half goals, absolutely gun. But I didn't really find fault in many of the girls, really. I think it was a great team performance. Just built on each quarter, and then, as you said, absolutely demolished the Hawks. And wasn't it good to see the Hawks come down to our town and our place and just get sent packing? It was fantastic. So. But mate, we move on. We did finish the year pretty well, actually. After all, it was a shaky mid part of the season, but we actually won 3 out of our last 4 games. Can you believe that? I was shocked when I saw that. So it wasn't looking fantastic at one stage there, but we finished the season 6-4 after winning 3 of our last 4 games on the year, and should be hitting September. We should be hitting November with a little bit of confidence going into that first final with no bye. So we hit the ground running. Where the momentum keeps going. We're into our elimination final next week and Sunday, as you said, at 1:05. Get there if you can. I think we didn't read it out on the score on the results thing before, but we had nearly 4,000 people at the round 10 game. So you'd have to imagine we're going to get 5,000 or 6,000 to this game. Hopefully a little bit more. So if you're in the area, if the weather gods are smiling, try and get it down there if you can. I think we've already made plans to get there. So Beck and I will be there for sure. So look out for us and say hi if you see us.
The forecast on the weekend is when the weather just starts to turn for the negative. So not ideal. Yeah, Geelong.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Put your ponchos on, everyone, and go support AFLW if you.
Not raining. Not from raining to be
not
fair.
Raining. There you go.
Just a bit overcast. That's about it. So.
And guess what? It's totally free for kids throughout the final season, a series away. And I think they've fixed the prices for adults, so it's still like $10 for an adult or whatever. So it's $20 if there's 2 of you, or if you go with a bunch of mates, whatever. Do the math. You're a maths teacher, Paul. I'm sure you can work that out. So yeah, look, and I think the only time the prices go up is if grand final. I think it might just go up a little bit. I don't know what it'd be, like $20 or something like that. And it's nothing really compared to what do you pay for a grand final.
You got to pay to get into the men's.
Who knows? But anyway, so that'll be good. As I said, I'll try and get along. I did get to the game on the weekend. It was great to see a bigger crowd than normal, and it was Pride around, and there was a lot of rain. I took my daughter along. I think my older daughter was coming and then pulled the pin at the last minute. My wife was a crook. But it was a fantastic crowd, and they were getting into the Taylor Swift music. Let me tell you, better shake it off had the DJ on the stage platform thing, and then about 20 kids bopping along to Taylor Swift. That was a good old time. So bring some of that energy next week, kids. As much to 10-year-old kids just doing the shake it off. I think my daughter wanted to get up there and do it as well. Any other comments on the game, mate? I think if we don't do our votes, do we, for the AFL women's? But I think we probably would. You go Press Parkers? We don't always agree on these things, but I think I'm giving my Press Parkers still for that one.
Yeah, Georgie, Nemo, and actually Renee Gehring with the one for me. I know she didn't appear in the core stats you brought up before, but 11 tackles over the game, which is it was a few ahead of the next best on the field. So she was, and still got a lot of the ball herself as well. So a really awesome performance there.
I really liked Becky Webster's goal. I think from 35-40. I didn't even think she was going to kick it. I was surprised when it went through, and I think she had about 23, 24 touches as well, and had a really good game. So it's probably, for my eyes, and I'm not the best judge of AFLW, the Cat boys are probably better at this than us, or me. But yeah, I think she played her best game of the year. So yeah, congrats.
Yeah, definitely right up.
And everyone else. So some other news, mate, while we close out the show, some other AFL or AFLW news or footy news in general. Have you heard that our Irish boy, one of 3, Oisin Mullen, I think we've got that name right now, is looking at extending his contract by a further 2 years? That warms my heart a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's considering it was a tricky period getting him on board as is. He was on and then he left, and we kind of had to re-sign him again. And it was a weird sort of limbo period there in that first 12 months, but he played a fantastic first debut season this year, and absolutely keen to see more of him over the course of the next few, more and more pre-seasons, developing that game. He's already got the athletic qualities. Could be anything for us. So.
Have you heard any whispers about Big Mac and Wellesley bringing in any more Cat B rookies from Ireland at all? Is there any talk
No,
about
I haven't
that
heard any whispers.
On the grapevine? Can we get a 4th Irishman?
I know. I mean, look, they might eye it off. Chatting to my closest source when it comes to all things Ireland, there was an injury to one of the players that Carlton picked up. And because of, I think it was like a broken leg or a knee or something, it was a significant one. And I believe that the AFL kind of, given the nature of the system that they're working in here and how they're trying to bring in overseas players and make it that international game, I think that the rules are a little bit different in terms of, you can delist them, or, you can do it a little more freely than what you could if it was some other player on your list. So I believe that player might go back in the pool. Who knows? Maybe the Cats might look at him and go, okay, well, let's try and pull you over in 12 months from now, whatever the case ends up being.
Maybe there's a basketball or a softball player or some volleyball superstar in Sweden or something like that.
I hear Victor Wembanyama's pretty keen to come across, actually.
Oh, Victor. Yeah, he's had a leaning towards the AFL for a while. Oh, he's very, very keen. So we might get
224 centimetre centre, hitting 38 points against Kevin Durant, taking the absolute P155 out of the NBA at the moment. And he's going to join the Cats.
Yeah, well, this is a Geelong show, but we are also called the Hoop Show as well. Not that it is a basketball focus, but you and I do like our basketball. How many points is Wember up to? By the way, I'll move the show on. But if I can get you to look at how many he's up to right now, the next thing I had on my agenda was to have a quick chat about the news that we could be playing a round one game next year at home against St Kilda in front of 40,000 people at the newly developed Northern Stand. I don't think it's got a name yet, but currently it's called the Northern Stand. If you are like me and have registered interest in a seat at the stadium, so I think I've put my hat in the ring for a seat or two seats, either in the Players Stand or the Northern Stand. I'm not sure what they'll call it. I don't know. I don't know what the Joel Selwood stand, the Gary Ablett stand, maybe. There's two Gary Ablets that have run around, maybe another Ablett or a couple more Ablets actually, but.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. They've got plenty of options, I guess we can say.
The coaches stand.
Bring up Wemby's numbers.
The administrators stand.
There's 7 minutes
marketing
to go.
Team stand.
7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and Wemby's sitting on 16 points up to this stage.
It's a lazy day from Wemby today. Well, he'll explode with 12 points in the last 2 minutes.
They've got the Raptors covered at the moment though by 5, so we'll see what happens.
There you go. So yeah, well, maybe is it Bill James? Is that your granddad?
Yeah,
William James stand. There you go. If you don't know, Paul's granddad played a few games for the Cats quite a few moons ago, but
it goes a ways back now.
Goes a ways back now, yeah. The yesteryear, as we say. So that'll be good. So it'll be round one, 40,000 people. Get there, get your dog there, get your cat there. Bring Barkley along. Get Pumpkin. I'll put Pumpkin in the cat cage. We'll get him there as well. I'll get everyone there. 40,000 people will have the place heaving. Shame we can't play Hawthorn there. That'd be great to open it up against Hawks. But St Kilda will have to do, and we'll smash them. And I believe, Paul, that in the next day or 10, something like that, the AFL will be releasing the 2020-24 fixture. I can say that in full. So we'll be able to see. Well, we're going to say in full. I think that'll be whatever in full means, first 15 rounds or whatever. And they'll probably, the first block. They'll probably release little bits and pieces in the lead up to the official launch of the first block of fixtures. But it'll be nice to see. I can't wait to start looking at where we're playing interstate, so I can book some flights and all that sort of stuff. I'm keen to do a bit of a road trip this year, take the show on the road. It'd be nice. I'm very keen to do that. And we've got the draft coming up on the 20th. We've still got our eighth pick. We haven't traded up, and we haven't split the pick for anything yet. So there's still time. I believe that trading is still able to happen for a little bit longer.
You can still have that, and of course, there's live trading on the night as well. So
correct. Yes.
So who knows kind of what's in store when it comes to what the Cats may or may not do with their picks. They were pretty transparent with the Asava one that. Those later picks, the pick 70 something and whatever it was, like I think that was the later one of the two, with all that Gold Coast is going to be doing in particular, with all the picks they had to accumulate, that thing will come right into the 50s.
That's right.
So it's not actually as late as it might appear optically. So that's fine. I mean, they've got the list spaces at the moment. Fill them up with some high quality players, and we'll go from there.
Well, so there we go. And don't forget, we've got Joel Clark coming next year as well. He only played about a quarter of footy this year, so he's two top 10 picks. Hopefully, well, who knows if we'll play them all, but there's some exciting times ahead. There might be some
delisted players that we might be eyeing off as well. Delisted free agents, those sort of things. We obviously saw Carlton pick up Orazio Fantasia through the week.
That's right.
But I believe quite in demand was Orazio in the end.
Wow.
It was GWS and Freo that were pretty keen to jump aboard and grab Orazio, but Carlton swept in there first.
Good luck to them. Oh, well. All right, so finishing off, the soft cap, the football department soft cap was extended by $250,000. $250,000. There you go, $250,000. It's too early. It's Monday, which means that that was reduced, I think, because of the COVID and all that.
COVID stuff,
yeah. So now they can start paying. I think they can pay coaches 20% outside that cap or something like that. And then there's still this luxury tax, but I won't go into all that sort of boring stuff. But so anyway, that's there as well. Hopefully, I still remember the time Chris Scott sacrificed his salary for a whole year just so the assistant coaches could get an income, get a payment each week. So that was nice of him to do that. Yeah, good to see that cap's returning. The game is getting back to a healthy state again, which is nice. Anything we've missed, Paul, that's happening in the AFL world?
Not particularly.
No, it's a slow period, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's always that kind of weird limbo period between trade week and the draft, and not a lot really happens. But obviously, things will start to peak again in the coming days. There's a lot of the noise. I mean, we're 2 weeks. Yeah, I think it's the 20th. I think we're 2 weeks
20th,
to the day away
20th,
from when the draft kicks off. I did notice when it comes to the draft that the AFL's looking to. They've been a little bit inspired by some of the COVID festivities, and you'd obviously see a lot of Zoom footage, for example, where people, like these drafted players would have hordes of their family kind of inside the house with them, and it's this crazy party atmosphere that they want to kind of replicate there. So apparently, each of the players that come to the opening night, the 15 to 20 or so that they invite, they'll all be allowed to bring about up to 20 people with them. So they really want to
get away from the beers. Oh my god,
they want to get this place heaving, which will be great.
It's going to be Schoolie's week all over again.
Yeah.
Schoolie, where is this draft being held? Probably, I don't even know.
It'll be in Marvel again, I would have thought.
Marvel. I want to get an invite. Can the public go to these things or not? Surely, I mean, there are people like us that would be keen to maybe pop along. Maybe the AFL can send us an invite.
We need to get some official media accreditation, I think.
We're not big enough yet, Paul. We got to get bigger. Do you know how we get bigger? We get people like you on the screen. People like you got to subscribe to the Hoop Show channel. Help us.
We want to keep pointing at them. You people. We'll go Mark Thompson. You people.
You people. Exactly. Paul, thank you again. Another great show. We'll be back. Whether it's the two of us or one of us, we'll figure that out through the week. But we will have a final to review. Hopefully a winning final. I know. Well, actually, Paul probably won't be here if we lose. So knowing Paul's track record, so we'll see. I'll definitely front up. Don't worry about that, everyone. We'll see how we go. Anyway, thanks again, everyone. Take us out, Paul. What do we normally say?
Go Cats. Remain Geelong strong. All that stuff. We'll see you later.
All that stuff. See everyone.